Hi guys, it's AJ,
And Harper.
and this is the Fingerguns podcast.
AJ, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Harper. I'm doing really good. How are you doing?
You always say you're doing good.
Yeah, because I can't let people know how I really feel, Harper.
Okay. Oh my god. Alright.
Today, we're going to be talking about our favorite actors and our favorite movies.
Yes. So, when we originally started the podcast, we wanted to use like aliases based on our favorite actors, right?
Yeah.
And
so,
go ahead.
You go first. You go first.
You go first.
You go first.
No.
Okay. My alias was Bale, as in Christian Bale. I like Christian Bale a lot. Yours?
Well, mine's like really layered because I have like a hard time choosing favorites of anything. So I picked Kat for Katharine Hepburn, Catherine Zeta-Jones, and I thought if I have two actresses, then that really solidifies that that's a good name for me to pick. What's your favorite movie that your actor was in?
So, Christian Bale was in this movie called Vice.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I want to watch that.
There were some really interesting choices in how it was made. Like, you're watching that movie, and then 40 minutes in, it has, like, a fake ending.
Oh, that's
It
cool.
ends, and then it rolls the credits and stuff, and then it just has, like, an interesting perspective. And,
Yeah.
like, the hair and makeup and the costume design is immaculate. Everyone's, like, really into their characters. Super good. That's why I really like Christian Bale, because he's super transformative as an actor.
Definitely.
Yeah.
For me, Catherine Zeta-Jones was in Chicago.
Oh, yes, I
And
recently watched that.
I know that like movie musicals are like a very controversial thing for some reason, but I love Chicago. I fell in love. I never finished the actual movie because I forgot what happened, but I got really interrupted. Yeah, I didn't get to finish, which is on my list. And I can't find it anywhere. But
There's this streaming service called Tubi, Tubi, and it's totally free. I don't even know if you have to make an account, but it just has like a gallery of movies, and they have Chicago on there. They recently added it. That's where I watched it.
thank you.
There's
We're not
this
sponsored, by the way.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, I don't like murder, but I do think like the whole premise of that was super cool. It's set in the 20s. That's like my favorite era.
And like the
I
jazz
think
era, yeah.
I love that. Like I kind of like jazz music when I'm working, and then this kind of like took that to like a theatrical level. And as soon as they played Cell Block Tango, I was like,
That's how I got into
love this.
Chicago. I heard that song
freaking
for the
love
first time.
yeah, because I've been doing dance for a few years, and just the way they executed that, and like, you know how the women, each guy, when they revealed how they killed their husbands, they have the red ribbon
Yeah.
come out. That's like quality cinematography right there.
Yeah, it was and the direction, like that movie was really good. It won
That
Best
movie
Picture.
is amazing. Yeah, and she won, I think, Best Supporting Actress for that movie. So that would be mine.
Nice.
That's just like my whole aesthetic in one movie is Chicago.
I see it. Is are movie musicals like your favorite genre, or like what's your favorite genre of movies?
I like action films. I like mystery films.
Oh, okay.
And occasionally when I feel like when I'm in a mood where I don't want to think. Because I like movies that are very complicated and there's like a beautiful ending unfolded at the end.
Yeah.
But when
yeah.
I don't want to think, I'll watch something like stupid. What about you? What's your favorite types of movie?
So I really like watching like psychological thrillers. I got into that. I watched Black Swan. That's also how I got into like I really like Natalie Portman, and that's how I kind of like found out kind of who she was.
We really loved Natalie Portman on this podcast, by the way.
Yes,
Just
we're gonna
a
be
heads
talking
up.
about. She will come up again.
She will come up many times.
Yeah, she's really good in that movie, and it's super artsy, and I really like that director, Darren Aronofsky, great director. He did Requiem for a Dream. Really,
yeah.
really. Oh, that movie's so depressing though, but it is really good. And Mother, that one had Jennifer Lawrence. I also love Jennifer Lawrence.
That was a freaky movie, though.
That movie, it's like really art housey and kind of strange.
I felt very... I just watched the trailer and I was like, oh, I'm so scared.
It doesn't have like a clear interpretation. Like a lot of people freaked out when that movie was released because they're like, what does this mean?
I think like that's when you know, I think like the art behind a movie is good. When you come out and are really impacted by it, you know, and you're not quite sure what to do with all that emotion. I feel like that could be a good thing. Or it
If
could
you
just
don't
be
know
really...
what's going on, it's just like, what was that?
I really want to talk about the Oscars lineup.
Okay.
Did you watch all of them?
I did not watch all of the movies from the Oscars.
No one ever watches like all the Oscars movies.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, what's gonna happen to the Oscars next year? It's gonna be virtual.
I hope not.
It's over Zoom.
No. Okay. Parasite.
Yes, I watched that.
I watched that.
Oh, so good. Okay.
That was amazing.
The story, the acting, the foreshadowing, the symbolism, the cinematography, the set design. Chef's kiss.
Oh yeah. There were these shots and they were just so beautiful. I think they did
and then like
such a good job.
Yeah, and when you rewatch it, you like pick up on new things.
They were good at setting the mood. They made it really funny at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And it could have totally been like this comedy. Some movies have like this slow burn horror, right? And this movie kind of has that because I guess by word of mouth, you do know that this is going to be a really like terrifying movie.
Yeah.
And then so you're waiting for something bad to happen, but it really doesn't get terrifying until that point where that lady showed up when it was raining.
Yeah.
And then like everything just like
like it totally shifted into something else.
and that was like amazing. Like
Yeah, because it's really hard to do that. Like successfully.
Definitely.
So I think it worked really well. And you know, the director, oh my god, I'm totally gonna butcher his name, but Bong Joon-ho.
You're trying your best. You can just say the director.
The director of the movie. He that's a very signature thing that he does in his movies, that there's kind of like a genre twist. And the stories are also like he makes pretty original movies.
Oh yeah.
There's this film that was released on Netflix called Okja, Okja, and it has a super interesting premise because it's about like they're making these like mutated pigs, and they're like huge. They look like rhinos, and there's like 12 in the world.
I don't like this.
And they're raised in like these farms, and so this one girl raises it, and there's a lottery, and they pick that one, and they like take that pig away from this little girl, and then this girl like goes like cross country, like goes to the United States to like get this pig back.
I feel
super
like
interesting.
I've definitely heard of this.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah. I feel like they also have this advantage in that it's a foreign film. So I feel like Americans, not that they aren't used to psychological thrillers, but this type of psychological thriller where the end is just so like you've just been hit by something like you didn't expect to happen, you know? Like the way they built, like the way they structured this movie, you kind of like leave the movie feeling very like there's that sense that you usually get with the conclusion where they tie up the loose ends and then everything's like settled, right? But with this, it was not.
Super bittersweet.
Yes. And I think that was very poignant. And I don't know how much of that we got. But we could go on and on about this movie, but we do need to continue.
Yes.
Did you watch Ford versus Ferrari?
I watched the first half of that movie with my dad for Father's Day. It's such a Father's Day movie.
It is.
But I liked what I saw. Christian Bale's in that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Matt Damon. And okay, there's this one child actor that's in that. He has like kind of curly hair, and he's in like every movie where there's a child actor. He was in Honey Boy. He was in The Quiet Place.
That happens a lot with child actors, like McKenna Grace.
Yeah,
she's in everything.
Yeah, she really had a moment.
But you liked it. I didn't watch that one.
I liked
had
it.
That much interest. Well, maybe I will think about that. The Irishman.
It is on my list in Netflix. I want to watch it sometime, and I just never end up watching it.
I haven't watched it.
But Robert De Niro's in that. I heard it's a very, very long movie.
It's one of those like historical, like not exactly historical, but like those films that are like, at least they're kind of like period, right? And then they're like set in a period, and you know it's gonna be long. Like you go into the movie knowing you're gonna be here and watching like at least like 10 shots where it's just the scenery, but but I'm sure that it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a good movie.
Okay, I'm I'm realizing how many of these I want to watch, but I didn't watch. Jojo Rabbit.
Well,
It looks so good.
I've seen a lot of clips.
Me
Scarlett
too.
Johansson's in that movie.
Yeah.
And Taika
Waititi.
Yes, that guy.
That was like the one film I really wanted to watch from this year, but I don't know why I haven't.
It just happens with the Oscars. Like,
Yeah.
I always am like, I want to watch all the Oscar movies, and then I don't.
Joker.
Yes, I watched that movie.
I didn't.
Wow, that movie, it was pretty polarizing. Personally,
I know, yeah.
I don't think it was a bad movie, but I didn't enjoy watching it. It's pretty, like, dark and, like, just heavy. But there's one thing we can all agree on, that Joaquin Phoenix did pretty fucking great in that movie.
Oh, yeah. You can tell just from the trailer that he put a lot.
Yeah, and he absolutely deserved that Oscar.
Yeah.
Oh, Robert De Niro is also in that film.
He's like in all the films.
Actually, in these Oscar films, there was like a lot of actors that appeared twice.
The repeats,
Marriage Story and Jojo Rabbit both had Scarlett Johansson.
Did you watch Marriage Story?
I did watch Marriage Story.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. That one's also depressing because it's about divorce. But I think the acting is really good, and like the writing is really good. It's very taut, very realistic.
I'm a big fan of like really large franchise movies, much more than you are, I think, at least. Like I like Marvel, and I haven't watched that many Star Wars, but I'm on it. I'm working on it. And so I really do like Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver. I do want to watch this movie because I just feel like that's so different from the roles they've been doing. You know, like they've been doing these mainstream roles, and now they're really settling into like this slice of life type thing. And I feel like it would be very interesting to see them in that. And I heard they did a really good job.
They did, both of them.
Okay. Little Women.
That one has Saoirse Ronan and Meryl Streep. Okay, and apparently Emma Watson was in that movie, but...
And Florence Pugh, yeah.
She's really good. She was in Midsummer. That movie is crazy. Oh my God.
She's a good actress.
She's a really good actress.
I didn't watch Little Women because I have a really dumb excuse, which is that I never finished the book, and I really don't like watching movie adaptations before I read the book because I'm kind of a snob.
I always do that. I always watch movies before I read the books because
I know you do. Books. I know you do, but I like reading books. And Little Women's such a classic that I feel like I would be dishonoring it. And then so I haven't watched it, even though I really do want to watch it. But I don't want to read the book. So I'm in this loop.
Maybe watching it will help you like want to read it.
Maybe it will.
Because that's what happened. That's what happens to me. Like I watched The Hunger Games, the movies first, and I was like, I want to read the books.
I'm thinking of Divergent, which is like kind of the same.
Divergent is not good. I don't like Divergent.
Divergent movie was bad, and the books were not as good as Hunger Games. But we don't need to discuss that right now.
We should do a whole episode for dystopian YA.
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
1917.
I watched part of that movie as well with my parents. The cinematography, it's awesome because you know it's all in like one shot. The direction, it was really good, but it's kind of it's a war movie.
Watch that.
I'm not a big fan of war movies.
I can't say I am, but I'm a big fan of like history, and so at least that much I feel like they did really well. I liked a few things about that movie. I love the cinematography. They have this scene. I don't know if you watched the scene, but it's the scene where I think it's really early morning, and he's almost to his like finish point, and it's this abandoned city, and they start like blowing it up. So it's these beautiful.
Oh
like,
yeah,
It's absolutely beautiful the way they shot it. The lighting and everything was amazing. I don't know. Okay, so there's that scene, and then there's the scene where he's on a river, and there's like these white blossom flowers, trees. They're just showing so much about how terrible this war is, and yet how beautiful the world is when it was undisturbed. And I think it's like a really good juxtaposition between what's happening and then the scenery behind it. Like it's very jarring. I also kind of like that they had like these really big actors at like every checkpoint of the film.
Yeah.
They had really big actors like Benedict Cumberbatch, Richard Madden, some other people that I cannot remember right now. But I love that film, actually. And I think it deserved this nomination. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes. Okay.
Did you watch that?
I did not.
I will talk about it without giving it away.
Okay, well, I read the entire Wikipedia synopsis already.
Okay then.
But it's
Fine.
I heard that one is really long too.
It is very, very long, and again, you know, a lot of Tarantino's movies, he's like avenging, like he's rewriting history, right, to make it right,
Yeah.
to write
Yeah.
history. But I don't. I think I knew that going into the movie. I don't think a lot of people did, but just I really like true crime, so I do know a lot about the Manson killings and just everything that they did. And so watching that, knowing that, having that in your head, watching the whole movie, it does keep you on edge. But I think they did a really good job, like mixing together all the storylines. And his symbolism was just so deep. I could go on and on about like how he had Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt do like these like actors and stuntmen who were like past their prime, and the way he tied in like the girls, the Manson girls, and like Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate, by the way,
Oh
absolutely
yeah. I
wonderful.
love.
She was
Also, it's worth
amazing.
mentioning. I love Margot Robbie.
I love Margot Robbie.
Yeah,
Oh, she's like, she started off and you thought she was just like pretty and like she did this one role, and then she did all these things that were just so amazing.
yeah. Like
I love her.
after I Tanya, I Tanya. I think that one won an Oscar a couple of years ago.
For
But
me,
yeah,
it's
after I
Bombshell.
Tanya. Oh yeah, that movie was really good too.
Yeah.
And Charlize Theron. Wow,
We're so okay.
we're
We
such
really like
simps.
these movies. I know. Anyway, I have to say, it did
Yeah.
drag in some parts, but overall, it's a really good film. Great conclusion. Makes you feel kind of sad when you realize what did happen as opposed to what happened in the movie. But for a film and for its purpose, it was very good.
So to kind of determine what we're gonna keep talking about, we're gonna do a poll, and we're gonna see what you guys think, so we can kind of figure out the preferences of our audience.
So we'll be posting the poll on our Instagram page, and you guys vote for what you guys want to hear about next, and we will prepare that episode for you. So I think that's all we have for you guys today. Thanks for listening up to here, at least.
We'll talk to you guys next week.
If we're not dead yet,
Bye.
bye.